right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets in the NBA today. We also are getting a pretty kind of loaded board today with college football and a little bit of college basketball as well as NFL. So we'll be touching on those bets as well. And then we'll get into the deep dive for the NBA slate, as well as giving you guys some prize picks and underdog slips. But first, let's get into a recap of yesterday. So guys, I want to start off with this slip that I ran out. It was obviously an extension off of the bet slip that I gave out to you guys on Underdog yesterday. So yesterday ended up being a pretty good day as a whole. Hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of those bets that we gave out. And yesterday, guys, in total, 13 for 19, ended up being a good day. The Underdog bet that I gave out 4 for 5 for college basketball. The NBA slip went at 3 for 4, so depending on how you guys use that, hopefully you guys were able to benefit from that protected pick that we had. And then the first college basketball slip that I gave you guys that I said was going to be my Flex Friday slip ended up going 3 for 4, so hopefully you guys were able to use that one. The 6 slip bet that I gave out, only 3 for 6 there. But I need to share this one that's on the screen here because I mentioned we had a decent amount of middling opportunities yesterday, specifically with Brendan Smith, and we're going to have that again today as well. But look at this, guys. Barely gets his over, right? But here's what got me. It's this rebound at the end of the game. Literally 5 seconds left. And it's basically because of the block shot. If he just makes the layup there, Mark Sears, or he doesn't get blocked, this hits, and that's a massive win. So very much annoying and tilting there that's the reason that bet slip missed. So I needed to share that with you guys. Really, honestly, just felt like a bad beat. But now let's go ahead and jump on into this prize picks board that we have today. So the Genty fantasy score prop bet, if you guys watched the college football video, you saw that we were getting this big edge in terms of a middling opportunity here as well. And looking at it, the average sportsbook line really likes the over here. Hopefully this one ends up hitting. They end up taking this one away and then putting it back on the board. So hopefully that one is still there for you guys. But we're noticing we're getting a decent amount of good prop bets, these bets that have an over 54% edge. Love that there. Now, I do want to address a comment. Someone was asking with the 9 to 5 cheat sheet, if we were just trying to look at these bets that, are just pure EV bets, well, there's no like calculation difference or prop line difference. What you do is just change this to 0, both of these. Okay, and then I'll just pull up all the bets in which the average sportsbook line is exactly the same as the prize picks line. Okay, so that's a good reason as to why that's in there, just as an FYI. But yeah, pretty loaded board. I did want to start with that for you guys. We are getting Hunter Dickinson, another potential middling opportunity here for college basketball as well. Hunter Dickinson over 37.5 for his fantasy score. Again, the prize picks line is clearly the one that's the most wrong here between prize picks and underdog. Now, that being said, college basketball thus far, just kind of attacking middles purely, has been much more profitable on underdog. That being said, if we're just attacking the sides that the data has been telling us to, where we have a good bet, so for Hunter Dickinson, obviously the over here, that's been much more beneficial as well. Just want to call that out. And so I want to go ahead and do a game-by-game breakdown here. There's not that many games on the slate, which will be nice. And so looking at it, guys, let's start with the Milwaukee Bucks. So Damian Lillard is going to be out for them. We know that. And then we also are expecting Bobby Portis to sit in this game as well. I don't know why he's listed as questionable. Doc Rivers has said that he's not going to play. And so I want to take a peek at these Giannis props that we are currently getting because I think he's going to go out and have a very good game. They actually bumped up his fantasy score already from the original line that was out. Kind of annoying there. But looking at it, guys, he is someone that per 36, with those two players off the court, he averages 39.3 points per 36. And he's someone that could actually potentially get more than that. He averages 11.2 rebounds per 36, 7.5 assists, and at a 40% usage rate, as well as 72 fantasy points per 36. And so honestly, I was thinking about targeting this at 60, his fantasy score. Now it's at 62. It's probably correct, but at the same time, pretty good matchup there going against Charlotte. We jump into Brook Lopez, and I actually do like his over fantasy score a decent amount here. The nice thing about the Bucks is they did not play last night. They did not play in the in-season tournament, so we don't have to worry about any like natural letdowns or anything like that. You look at his per 36 production with Portis and Lillard off the court. He averages 53.7 points per 36. Now, I don't think we can really project him to get 36 minutes, but probably 33 at least, 30. So regardless, he should be able to get this over. Okay, he just gets a bigger role. He's averaging 23 points per 36, 8.1 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and the 22% usage rate, which for Brook Lopez is insane. Like, I would have not guessed that. And so I do like some of the bets that we're getting on him. Then another player that should get a decent amount of run tonight is going to be Taurean Prince, especially with Ryan Rollins, who ended up having a good game in his first kind of true action with the Bucks a few nights ago. He's out as well, so that just probably ensures that Taurean Prince is going to get some run in this game. And so he is someone that per 36 averages 14.2 points, 8.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and about 27.5 points or fantasy points per 36. So not terrible there. I don't mind his over points. I think that's a decent bet that we have for Taurean Prince. I'm kind of happy to run that one out there as well. More of your traditional sportsbook bets there, guys, rather than a prize picks or underdog bet, but still not terrible there. So we'll jump into Charlotte here for you guys. We are getting Taj Gibson for over his PRA of 7.5. Kind of crazy there. Don't exactly love that. What I'm surprised by is how close the game is. So they're only 3.5-point dogs. Very low game total there as well. I get it. Lillard's out and I get Portis is out, but Giannis is playing well. Still pretty a good matchup for the Bucks. We'll see, I guess. But not terrible bet there. Maybe if you're looking for a little bit of a game stack there. But I don't really like any of these bets that are out there personally. They would feel like we're forcing them. So let's go ahead and jump on into the next game. And so this next game is going to be Toronto versus Boston. So I do want to call it Drew Holiday is currently questionable. I'm kind of assuming he's going to quit. This is a game in which Boston is favored to win by a decent amount, has a good chance to be a blowout. And so I think that they think they'll be able to win without him. And if he's a little bit banged up, why risk him playing? Now let's go ahead and jump on into Toronto. Toronto is still very banged up, guys. Scotty Barnes is still out. Quickly is still out. And Bruce Brown is still out for those that care about Bruce Brown. I want to talk about kind of my favorite bets in this game. And for me, let's start out with Toronto. I'm still think I'm going to be rolling with RJ Barrett to get his over 5.5 assists again today. And again, if you use this, going to be an increased payout. I don't really get it. I know looking at last year's data, his assist total was very low with those players off the court, with Scotty Barnes and with Quickly off the court. But lately, guys, he has just been deferring to passing the ball, especially with those two players out, especially with Quickly off the court, averaging well over 5.5 assists per 36, closer to 7.5. And so I still think that that's a good over bet. Again, I think that's a better sportsbook bet where the payout increase is going to be more worthwhile. But that's really the only bet I like there for Toronto. For Boston, I do think we could get a pretty sneaky good edge. And to me, that edge would come with Tatum. Okay, so if Drew Holiday is indeed going to sit, Tatum is someone that benefits an insane amount thus far this season. And it's a pretty big sample size that we have going into this. So his usage increases by 10% to 39% total. That's insane. He averages 40 points per 36 with Drew Holiday off the court. And so again, my assumption is that Drew Holiday, if he is that banged up, why play him in a game in which you are 16.5-point favorites? That doesn't really make sense to me. And so if we look at it, he gets a good matchup as well. Tatum, DVP projection, 30, almost 32 points. And so just across the board, this one seems to be one of my favorite bets on the day. Now, again, this is going to be more of a underdog bet not underdog bet. It'd be like sleeper or flip if you guys have access to those types. It'd be more of those bets. I'm just going to put it on an underdog slip so you guys can see my favorite bets for the day in the NBA. Regardless of expected value gained. And then for what's worth, Jaylen Brown as well does get a decent increase as well. He averages about 28 points per 36 and 7 rebounds per 36. So, not a terrible bet there for Brown as well. If you guys want to go that route, you certainly can. Now, for me, this Lakers-Pelicans game, there isn't that much there, just in the sense that with how banged up the Pelicans are, their lines are kind of a guessing game. Honestly, like Brandon Ingram, sure, his lines are solid in the sense that if the game stays close, he's going to be the reason as to why that's occurring. So we look at some of his lines here. We are getting a decent prop line difference for his points and assists here. If the game stays close, he's going to be the reason why. And I don't mind the over then, but at the same time, it's extremely a tight board there. I just don't feel the need to go out of my way to target any of these bets that we are getting here for the Pelicans. And because of that, I don't feel the need to go out of my way to betting the Lakers bets as well. Kind of the same thing for the Spurs as well. I do think it's worth calling out. Wemby has really been crushing, and this is going to be a pretty good matchup there going against Dallas. And so I do expect him to continue to play well, but all of his lines that we are getting all seem to be correct. And so to me, guys, the biggest edge that we are getting on the slate is probably going to be with the Kings again. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this game is the fact that the Kings are coming in off of an OT game. So like someone like De'Aaron Fox ended up playing 44 minutes. Now, he played extremely well. He was able to cash very comfortably for the over points bet that I recommended yesterday. The reason why I like that bet was because DeMar DeRozan was ruled out yesterday. Now, it is the back end of a back-to-back. I'm wondering if he sat out on the front end of a back-to-back simply because he was injured. At the same time, like do people really care about the NBA Cup? I don't know. Like, if they did, and he was, kind of good enough to play in one of the games for back-to-back, why not play in that game, right? Why wouldn't DeRozan play on the front end of a back-to-back then instead, if the NBA Cup games are truly important? And so the fact that he didn't play, I'm assuming that he's actually going to be injured in this game. And if he is injured in this game, then someone like De'Aaron Fox to get his over points again today is going to be a bet that I really like. And so again, guys, it's kind of a slate in which we're trying to find edges here. And I really kind of like all the lines that we're getting on De'Aaron Fox if DeMar DeRozan is indeed out. But the over points would probably be my favorite one if he is out. Over 26.5 points, again, with DeMar DeRozan off the court, gets an insane increase in points, averages 38.7 points per 36 with DeMar DeRozan off the court. So that would be the bet there, is that he is indeed out again in this game. Now, I do want to call out that PrizePicks is definitely thinking that he is going to play. Okay, they are giving him projections, and I don't think we'd begin these lines for De'Aaron Fox if he were to sit. Looking at De'Aaron Fox per 36 production, fantasy score-wise, he does average 60.5 points per 36 with DeMar DeRozan off the court as well. And so we are getting some more fantasy score prop bets. I am going to refresh my data on my end. Now, again, you guys watching this video won't notice this pause in the video, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing out on any great prop bets for you guys. So the video is going to come out a little bit later than I would personally like, viewage wise. So if you guys can, just leave a like on the video, that does help out a lot. All right. Sorry. All right. So looking at it, guys, we have two good bets. Al Horford for under his fantasy score, and then Okachai, Ojigba, no, whatever. Okachai there for Toronto. His under is another good one there. I want to call it that the projection data does not exactly agree with that for what that's worth. Same thing with Jakob Poeltl for under his fantasy score as well. To me, I'm assuming this has to do with really how the projection data is valuing this game in terms of a blowout potential and really when that blowout occurs, whereas Vegas is kind of just saying that these players are probably due to get less run in this game due to it being a 16.5 point spread. And so that's going to be the biggest difference there. We are seeing that Brook Lopez over PRA is now a pretty good bet there as well, over 22.5. So I want to call this one out specifically because I'm going to be running his over fantasy score. And if you guys disagree with that one, well, you can run this one out instead. That's going to be a decent bet. And so again, guys, just want to call it the 95 promo code on the website. Use promo code Keep Cash and you get access to the tools that you saw in this video. You guys can get access to that data for $10 per month. But when you use the promo code Keep Cash, you get the first month for $8. Just a nice way to go ahead and try it out. See if you guys enjoy it and enjoy making better, educated decisions with your bets. So jumping into my bets for the day, these are my favorite bets on the day today. Mostly bets that I enjoy more so just on traditional sportsbooks. I'm showing you guys on Underdog because, well, they basically have more bets available earlier on in the day when I'm doing my research. So that's why I typically show the Underdog bets for that segment. So if you guys like any of these, by all means, go for it. Again, with the Boston props, I'm really just betting on Drew Holiday, hopefully sitting in this game. Same thing with De'Aaron Fox, hoping for DeMar DeRozan to sit in that game. And then the prop bets that we are getting are going to be pretty solid edges. And then for PrizePicks, I do want to call it, we do have this middling opportunity on both sites here where with Hunter Dickinson's line being extremely off and Ashton Genty's line being extremely off as well, like his line on Underdog is higher than on PrizePicks. PrizePicks does full point PPR. That should never be happening. Underdog's line is at like 39, guys. Like that's insane. That should not be happening. And so like my bet of the day as well would be just running out these two on both sites and obviously betting the opposite on Underdog and just hoping that it middles. Now, yesterday, as you guys saw with the Brendan Smith one freaking rebound away with 5 seconds left in the game from having like a massive payout by attacking a little bit of a middle there. And so obviously they're not always going to hit, but in a situation like this where it's that great, chances are, especially with Genty, like a middle could happen. And when it does happen, it's going to be a pretty big day. And then, again, I like Brook Lopez for his over fantasy score. Now, did this go up throughout the video? It might have. I thought it was at 30. I could be wrong. But the reason why his fantasy score is much higher is because he is someone that typically does get multiple blocks per game as well. So we really need him to get like 3 blocks in this game, or 3 blocks and steals. Maybe tight. Maybe we do go with the PRA there. And then just the data did like these two a decent amount as it sits right now. And then Jakob Poeltl as well. Basically just betting on this game being a blowout. And that's kind of the nice thing about Underdog with fantasy score as it sits right now, guys, is that they're not bumping these payouts down. Like, you're betting on the game and they're not adjusting the payout. Like, these do correlate pretty well. And so I like that aspect of it. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Appreciate you being here. Be on the lookout for my NFL videos that will be coming out later on today, covering my favorite prop bets and then also my NFL DFS picks. Again, they'll be on the channel later today, this Saturday. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys have a favorite bet that you guys like as well, make sure to comment that in the comment section below. Again, if you guys want access to the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to them for just $10 a month. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck with your bets. And as always, let's keep cashing.